In today's video, we're talking about prostitution. In another video, we had spoken about what the definition of prostitution is, whether it's sexual conduct, what constitutes sexual conduct. There's a number of different variables in there. There's a lot of definitions stacked on top of that. But if you fall within that definition, if you fall within the purview of the definition statute, and the activity that is alleged is considered prostitution, well, then what makes that illegal? We were just talking about definitions. Now we're talking about the actual law. To get an understanding of how that works, we need to look to the A.R.S, the Arizona Revised Statutes. It is 1332.14. It's the prostitution section of the A.R.S. It's pretty bland. It's pretty basic in terms of what it prohibits. It says right here, it is unlawful for a person to knowingly engage in prostitution. This is all under Section A. And so you can see it's not real clear. That's why we look to the definition to say what is prostitution. So you can make some good defenses based on the definitions portion of the statute, which I addressed in another video. In this video, we're looking at a couple things. Knowingly engaging in prostitution, that is the statute, okay? Is a very serious charge in Arizona, surprisingly. Even if it's a first offense, Arizona is a conservative state. They really like to criminalize certain activity, in particular sexual contact or conduct. They like to really penalize it, and so that's what we see here. So if you are convicted of this portion of the statute, you meet the definitions, this was something that you knowingly engaged in, and it is considered prostitution, these are the penalties. So first of all, it's a Class 1 misdemeanor in Arizona. Class 1 misdemeanor is the highest level of misdemeanor that we have. It's not a felony, but it is a misdemeanor. And so if it's a first offense, that's where it's going to fall. And for a first-time charge, either way, whether you are committing prostitution or soliciting prostitution, if it's not reduced, if you're charged under this statute, the penalty for prostitution is 15 days of jail. You can see here the first offense is 15 days. That means it's mandatory. It's written in the law. If you're convicted of it, the judge doesn't have any authority to not give you jail time. You're going to go to jail, which is why it's so important. If you've been charged with prostitution, you don't get convicted of it. There's a number of ways that we can deal with that. We'll put that in a different video. But for here, we're talking about the penalties. A second offense, so if somebody is charged again with prostitution or convicted again and they've got a prior prostitution conviction, penalty goes up to 30 days. A third conviction, 60 days. This is all written in the statute. It's law. It's mandatory. A fourth offense or an additional offense, that's going to become a felony now. So up here for first offense, second and third offenses, those are all misdemeanors with increased aggravated jail. But if you're convicted a fourth time or further times, it's going to be a felony. Now, if you're convicted of felonies, if you have prior felonies, it's going to bump you up in terms of the severity of what category you're in for sentencing purposes. So you could theoretically go to prison for a very long time if you've got prior offenses. So it's important to know that. So if it is a fourth or a higher offense, you have to do a minimum of 180 days in jail. Can't do any less than that. So that's also written into the law. Prior felony convictions, as I said, can bump you up in terms of sentencing. And then finally, the court can add other penalties for it. So even if it's a first offense, they can add education, they can add treatment programs, they can add probation. So this can really linger around for a very long time. And certainly prostitution is one of those charges that is, it's a sensitive thing. People obviously don't want that on their record. They don't want to go to jail. They want to make sure that they can clear this stuff up. A lot of the times the people that we work with are very good people, just caught up in kind of a bad situation, and they don't deserve any of these penalties. So how can we help them through that? That's what we do every single day. We have another video on the defenses and what evidence they need, but this is just a quick overview on how it works. If you've been charged with prostitution, as you can see, the penalties are quite serious. So it is important you give us a call. We offer free case evaluations, meaning you come into our office, no pressure. We'll sit down, we'll talk with you, we'll make sure you have a good understanding of how this works as it applies to your case. Make sure you have a good plan to move forward. So give us a call, come on in, sit down with us. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks for watching.